And so we just clip off that bit there with the flush cutters, and then you put this back here this way around, and the spring goes into that, and I'll tighten up that screw there. Look at the intricacy of the inside of the piano. Remember that this is not seen. Well, I suppose it would be in a pub if you had the front open. Someone's bothered to go even to the extent of hand painting some of the steel frame with blue paint. These are the sprung-loaded dampers I was telling you about, and they're below the hammer. So the hammers hit the string, the dampers come off, and then go back onto the string to stop it ringing on. So this, guys, gives you an idea of the outside of the piano. It's rosewood, complete with marquetry, and it's got some candlestick holders. Now, most pianos that are like this are not worth much money at all, because they have the old system inside them. They're not overstrung usually, and they're not got this damping system that is supported by springs. It's great, really, to be able to show you three pianos that are so representative of what's out there. This is the type of piano that in 1980, when I first started piano tuning, I went to a London piano warehouse, and they were all around the room, and they were being totally restrung, new dampers, new hammers, and polishing up the outsides, and they were being sold for £2,000 in 1980. Now, with eBay, a complete flattening of the market, and I maintain quite a confused picture of what is reality, because the reality is the pianos of this era they were not made for central heating, so they're going to just disappear off the face of the earth. It hasn't hit the British people yet, and they're still paying, what, 250, 300 for something that won't have been worked on and just come straight from someone's house. This one is a typical case in point, because in its current condition, someone rich from overseas would spray paint this with polyester glass, and they'd change all the keys because they do look a bit worse for wear. But they are ivory, they are real elephant, a complete set, not a blemish along here, because usually all it takes is one child with one ruler going bing, 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 to create that toothy look, that broken tooth look that you get on ivories. And this, every single one of them is intact. Just a shame about this discoloration in the front there. And the tone is, well, I really like it. You should really have casters, so probably they were broken and I took them off when it came in, but unfortunately the pedal does need to be, it needs to be raised up off the floor, because otherwise the pedal taps. So I'll probably, as this goes out, I'll put a new set of casters on. So this instrument represents another sort of era when everything went micro in the 1930s. It is Art Deco, and it's called an Eve staff actually. It is a piano. Might look like a bureau, but it is a piano. Now the Eve staff piano there were two types basically. The first one that came out had the tuning pins underneath the keyboard, so to tune it you had to sort of get on your knees and tune that way. We still see them and they're not pleasant to do, but this is a lot better than that. The tuning pins are underneath the lid here. In the orchestras, there's an instrument called a celeste, which is a keyboard instrument, which sounds like a xylophone or glockenspiel type thing, and Tchaikovsky used it to do the Sugar Plum Fairy. Well, I maintain, and I think a lot of others do, that this is the most celeste type sound of all the pianos. See what I mean? Now, around the time that the E-Staff was being made, in the 1930s, there was also a craze for going micro on grands. So the baby grand was formed. Now, in Germany, the baby grand is a much maligned thing. Basically, because if you listen to this, oh, that's ringing on. The bass strings are too short, really, for the notes that you're trying to play on them. So a lot of the German companies, even the ones now that I deal with, are starting with 5'3" instruments and not going below 5'3". However, in the English market and some of the other countries of the world, you can still buy 4'8" and 4'10" instruments. So this is a Challen. Now Challens were around the corner. The factory was around the corner from the BBC. So whenever the BBC needed a piano, they tended to wheel a Challen around. It was very handy to have the factory so close. This would have been possibly one of the pianos that the BBC would have used. So I had this huge dilemma. It cost about £4,000 or £5,000 to properly restore any instrument. So you've got these Challens kicking around in the press or on eBay for just a few £100s, and it's difficult to know how much to get involved. This one came my way through part exchange, and I don't sort of feel that if I went to town on the restringing like I used to, that I would ever get my money back. So it's a real problem we've got as restorers in this country.